Hey there, Ben Mankiewicz with you. Thanks for watching TCM, where we've got a trio of 1940s movies featuring the most famous detective to spring from the funny pages of your local newspaper. By the way, please take this as a reminder to subscribe to your local newspaper. The detective is Dick Tracy. The three movies are short, sharp blasts of noirish crime stories courtesy of RKO Pictures. We begin tonight with as straightforward a title as you'll find, from 1945, Dick Tracy. If you somehow don't know who Dick Tracy is, here's his brief bio. He's a square-jawed, no-nonsense, plainclothes detective created by comic strip artist Chester Gould. Dick Tracy made his debut in the comics in 1931. At the peak of his popularity, the Gumshoes strip ran in hundreds of papers around the world. Dick Tracy hit screens in 1937, played by Ralph Byrd in the first of 4 popular serials for Republic Pictures. When RKO secured the rights to Tracy in the mid-1940s, Morgan Conway took over the role. Tracy was known for battling a grotesque gallery of fiends, usually with crazy names and some type of physical deformity. Flat top, prune face, BB eyes, and the brow, to name a few. In this one, Tracy takes on a vicious killer sporting a huge facial scar. He's known not as Scarface, but Splitface. Splitface was not one of Chester Gould's creations, but he certainly could have been. Dick Tracy's adventures were violent, often shockingly so for the era, and filled with disturbing details. Even if they deviated in terms of story and villains, these RKO movies remained close to the spirit of Chester Gould's strips. Gould would create long, involved story arcs for Dick Tracy that would unfold over weeks, often stretching into the better part of a year. In Dick Tracy, this film, RKO gives director William Burke an hour to get the job done. He was the right director for the gig. The previous year, he knocked out 11 low-budget flicks. He only directed 4 in 1945. Slacker. From 1945, this is Dick Tracy.
2240 Lakeview Road. Got it. Now, don't let anyone touch the body or anything around it. We'll be right there. Joe, send a squad car. Hello, Tracy. Tracy isn't here. This is Pat Patton.
Well, try to find him, Pat. It's important. Homicide. 2240 Lakeview Road.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
It's murder, he says. Does that mean Mr. Dick Tracy won't have dinner with me tonight at all?
Oh, sure, Tess, you lead.
That sounds very much like something Dick said nearly 4 hours ago.
Well, at least you got this far.
This far? I'm not engaged to a homicide squad. Why didn't I fall in love with a retired businessman?
I'll get Tracy. Maybe he can answer that one.
Come on, Johnny, you might as well talk. Who robbed that payroll truck?
Let me handle him, Tracy. I think I can make him talk.
We're waiting, Johnny.
Homicide, Dick. Just got the call. You better step on it. 2240 Lakeview Road.
Murder, 911 Laurel?
911 Laurel? That's where I live. My mother. You said murder. My mother's there. What's happened to her? I gotta get to my mother.
I've got to find out who robbed that payroll truck. Who are you shielding, Johnny?
I gotta get out of here.
Who held up the truck?
Flip Gordon.
Your mother's all right, Johnny.
But you just said that...
The only way I could get you to talk and clear yourself at the same time. All right, boys, clean up Johnny and send him home. Tell the chief it's okay. And pick up Flip Gordon.
Yes, sir.
Dirty trick to play on the kid, but I knew he was innocent. That was the only way I could make him talk. And you gave me the idea.
I must be improving.
All the time.
Hey, Dick, how about Tess?
Holy smoke, our dinner date. She must be starved. Make yourself comfortable, Tess. We'll only be a few more minutes.
But Dick,
Hello, Dick.
Hello, Manning. What's the dope?
She was a school teacher named Dorothy Stafford, about 40 years old. Quiet, few friends. Lived a couple houses down the block.
Any trace of the murder weapon?
No. The only thing we found so far is Miss Stafford's handbag.
Who reported it?
Mr. Hill, but he wasn't the first to reach the body. Oh, she's over here. Miss Stanley, this is Detective Tracy and Detective Patton.
How do you do, Miss Stanley? Did you see anybody in the block before you found Miss Stafford?
No. A friend drove me home from work and let me out on the corner. I didn't see or hear anyone until I got right here. Then these people started coming out of their houses. Just a few seconds earlier, it would have been me lying there.
Nobody'd have any reason to kill Miss Stafford.
Could have happened to any of us.
Only a fiend could have slashed it like that.
Have one of the boys take Miss Stanley home. Get their names.
All right.
Miss Stanley?
What's your name, miss?
Pat Chandler.
It's for a concert at the Lyceum Hall.
Say, that's where she was coming from when she got knifed.
$20 and some silver.
Well, that rules out robbery. The neighbors are right. We've got a maniac to find.
Identification card. Balance of $1,700. No recent withdrawals. Wrap up $500 in small bills and put in street sweeper's trash can. Corner of Lakeview and Ash at 8 tomorrow night. Split face.
I can spell better than that.
He spells the important words all right.
Yeah, Mr. Splitface knows how to spell $500.
Dick. Tracy?
what time is it?
Why, it's a little late, Tess. It's almost 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Guess that's all for tonight, Pat. We may as well go home.
isn't one thing, it's another. Dick Tracy residence. Mrs. Carraway speaking. Who? Oh, hello, Mr. Patton. Oh, no, I wouldn't think of calling Mr. Tracy now. He didn't get home till 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. I'm sure he's exhausted.
He's in a coma.
He's in a coma. Oh, just a minute, Mr. Patton. Just a minute.
Morning.
Morning.
Hello, Pat. Dick. Anything wrong?
The chief wants us over at the mayor's office, toot sweet. I'll pick you up right away.
Mayor's office. I'll be ready. Mayor's office. Junior had his breakfast yet?
Oh, an hour ago. He's upstairs in his room, working on a very strange case.
I'll see what he's up to.
Good morning, Dick.
Hello, Junior. What have you got there?
Something mighty funny happened around here last night.
That so?
Yeah, there was a prowler in the house.
Anything missing?
Yeah, plenty.
Any clues?
I'm afraid I'll have to fingerprint you.
Hey, you don't suspect me.
Mrs. Carraway says a lot of stuff is missing from the icebox. Yeah, they sure do. Look at these, Dick.
You've got me dead to rights, officer.
You better talk.
Might as well come clean.
It'll go a lot easier on you if you do. And on your accomplice, too.
How'd you know I wasn't alone?
Lipstick. Tess?
Yeah. But I'm taking the rap. It was too late to go to a restaurant, so we raided the kitchen.
Oh, heck, you confess too easy. I thought this case would take me all day.
So you could stay out of school? Let's go.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Patton.
Good morning.
Hello, Pat. Be right with you.
We've got to hurry, Dick. Hi, Junior. Any new crimes?
One, I've got to go to school.
Well, land sakes, aren't you even going to have your breakfast?
I'll get a cup of coffee downtown. Come on, Pat.
Dear.
Bye, Mrs. Carraway.
Goodbye.
Good morning, Chief. Good morning, Mayor.
Morning.
What's happened?
The mayor will explain.
Here, Tracy, read this. Came special delivery a half an hour ago.
Wrap up $10,000 in small bills and put in street sweeper's trash can at corner of Davidson and 9th Street at 11 tomorrow night or be slashed to pieces. Split face. The same handwriting and the same words misspelled.
Well, if you know the handwriting, of course you can tell me who Splitface is.
The man who killed Miss Stafford. Just a moment. Did Your Honor know Dorothy Stafford?
Well, I can't recall. Why? Did she get one of these extortion letters?
Yes. For $500. That's what's strange. An extortionist doesn't usually demand $500 from one victim and $10,000 from another.
You mean he'd operate in one bracket?
That's right.
Well, what are you going to do, Chief?
Now, don't worry, Your Honor. We'll assign bodyguards to you immediately.
Bodyguards. Those are the fellas that always shoot second.
I guarantee your safety.
You do? I suppose if you don't live up to your guarantee, you'll bring your resignation over to my funeral.
Now, Mayor.
Now, look! I only want one thing, and you know what that is. Split face.
I've gone through every crank letter and extortion message in our files. There's nothing that even looks like the writing of this split face. Think of anything more on Miss Stafford?
One thing. Going through her personal effects in business papers, I kept coming on to the name of Wilbert Thomas.
Who is he?
Well, that's what's funny. I asked all her school teacher friends, and none of them ever heard of him. But he's in the phone book, and I've been calling him all night.
Let's go out to his house. We can wait for him if he hasn't arrived by the time we get there. That's the number. what that dog's howling about.
There's the car out there.
That dog is in the next yard.
Yeah.
Evidently nobody home there either. Pat. Just like the Stafford woman. Throat slashed, knife cuts on face and chest. We're only a couple of minutes late. Call headquarters. I want the neighborhood combed.
Right.
Look, he stepped in some oil in that driveway. When you phone, get the car and cruise around until you spot me.
Right.
Say, does he live in this place? I don't know, but I think we've got him penned in here. Go around to the back. Cover the door and porch window. I'm from headquarters. Do you live here?
Yes. My name's Owens. Steve Owens.
I followed a man into your backyard and lost him. I believe he's taken refuge in your house.
That's impossible. I've been home all evening. But come in and look around if you'd like to.
This man slashed a schoolteacher to death. And committed another murder not far from here tonight.
I guess a crazy killer like that can give you police a lot of trouble. You never know where or when he may get the urge to kill again.
Let's take a look at the back.
This way.
I'll be right back.
Window open and some bloodstains on the carpet.
A man named Owens lives here. I'll keep him busy in the study. Continue looking the place over. You're alone in the house tonight, Mr. Owens.
Yes. My daughter's visiting relatives out of town. Our cook goes home every night. Would you sit down?
Thanks.
It's very unusual for me to spend an evening at home like this. I own the Paradise Club.
Did you ever know a woman named Dorothy Stafford?
That's the schoolteacher who was killed.
Yes.
I never heard of her until I read about the murder.
Did you ever hear of a man who calls himself Splitface?
No. Who is he?
The killer. I'm concerned about your safety, Mr. Owens. My assistant. I think we'd better leave a police guard with you.
I don't think that'll be necessary. Apparently you had this man cornered in my backyard and he ran through the house to get away. He's not likely to come back.
He's not in the house now, anyway.
Good night, Mr. Owens.
Good night.
I didn't find a thing, Dick. No weapons, no bloodstains on his clothes, and the shoes in the closet are all clean. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Maybe he is, and maybe he isn't. But right now, we're going back to the Thomas house.
Hello, Dick.
Hello, Manning. I thought I had him, but I ran second.
Too bad. It's Thomas, all right.
What'd you find on him?
Usual stuff. Wallet, around $50. Medium price watch.
Dick Tracy reporting.
Oh, it is? Well, I was told Miss Lovelace was calling.
I was afraid you wouldn't talk to me if I gave my right name. Did I apologize for last night?
No, you didn't. But I suppose I'll have to forgive you.
I won't think I'm really forgiven unless you let me make up for it tonight.
Tonight? Gee, that'd be swell.
Good, Tess. I'll call for you early. We'll dine, we'll dance. Maybe we'll even look at the moon.
You can't fool me for a minute, Dick Tracy. I know you're not going out for fun. You're going out for work. And if you examine the moon, it'll be for fingerprints.
You're wrong, Tess. Work's forgotten. And besides that, I have something interesting to tell you. Know what? Tracy is crazy about you.
What about your date with the mayor?
The mayor? He's just a figurehead. Nobody pays any attention to him.
That doesn't sound like you, Tracy.
Pick you up at 8.
So I'm just a figurehead, eh? So no one pays any attention to me, huh?
Of course not, Your Honor. I mean, won't you sit down?
So my life's in danger and no one pays any attention to me. No wonder our citizens are being slashed to ribbons by some maniac.
Your Honor, we're all doing everything possible.
Have you forgotten if I don't put $10,000 in some trash can tonight, that I'm going to join Miss Stafford and Wilbur Thomas in the morgue?
We've checked the movements of Thomas.
Thomas is dead. Have you checked the movements of this split face? That's what I want to know.
We have a suspect.
I've told the mayor about Owens. He wants us to arrest him.
If we do, an attorney will get him out in a few hours. All we'll do is put him on his guard. Has Your Honor ever met Owens or Thomas?
I may have. I meet lots of people. I'm a popular man. But remember, I expect action, and before 11 o'clock tonight.
Well, it looks like no soap. I've been standing here for 3 hours. My feet are killing me.
You didn't really expect him to show up, did you?
Why not? We put the package in the can, just as the note instructed.
I don't think Split-Face is especially interested in a package of money.
You mean Stafford, Thomas, and the mayor were all marked for murder, whether they paid or not?
Right. Dorothy Stafford got a note asking $500. She didn't pay it and was killed. Thomas got one and paid $1,000. He was killed. Sane or crazy, there's some central idea behind it. Some spring that ties all these people together.
That's encouraging. What am I going to tell the mayor about tonight?
Congratulate him on being alive. And ask him where he ever encountered Stafford, Thomas, and Seabones. We might as well go.
Don't bother to book him, boys. That's all for tonight.
I hope you made a reservation.
No.
It would only take a minute to call, and
Quiet. I didn't want anyone to know me here.
Ah, Mr. Tracy, good evening. Oh, Jules.
Evening.
A table for Mr. Tracy.
It's a pleasure to see you, Mr. Tracy. This way, please.
I'll see what you need.
Good evening, Mr. Tracy.
You're the best known unknown I've ever known.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Owens around this evening?
I'm not sure, but I'll find out, Mr. Tracy.
Who is Mr. Owen?
He owns the place. I ran into him last night.
All right, stop being so mysterious and tell me why we're here.
I'll let you know as soon as I find out myself.
Mrs. Tracy asked me about your father.
He did. All right. Good evening, Mr. Tracy. I'm Judith Owen. You were asking about my father?
Why, yes. Oh, this is Miss...
How do you do?
I'm so happy to know you, too.
I've been away for a few days, but when I came home this morning, my father told me about your visit to the house last night.
Your father has good nerves. That experience would have terrified a lot of people, but he took it right in stride.
I'm certainly glad you were there. But do you think it was entirely an accident that the killer ran through our house?
That's what I've been asking myself. Where's your father now, Miss Owens?
He's not here tonight.
Is he at home?
No, and right after he left, I saw a man walking through our garden. And I was frightened, so I jumped in my car as quickly as possible and came right to the club.
Would you let me have the key to your house?
Well, yes, of course.
Darling, I'm terribly sorry. Do you mind waiting?
Oh, no, you're not going to leave me here.
You stay in the car, Chris.
Not me. I'd feel safer with you.
I don't expect to find anyone around here now. I got her key so I could make a thorough search of the house while they're both out.
Well, then I'll help you.
Don't worry about being polite. You go first.
Something wrong?
Must be the fuse. Let's take a look at the master switch.
You take a look. I'm staying right here. Dick. Dick. Dick.
Headquarters and tell them where we are. Who are you and what are you doing up here?
I? Oh. I am Professor Linwood J. Starling, astrologist, doctor of the occult sciences.
How long have you been up here?
Time and space are beyond human conception.
Cut out the double talk. I'm from police headquarters.
Obviously. Well, I've been here since darkness fell, meditating, communing with my soul, studying the course of the stars. Sagittarius.
Did you see anyone cross this roof a moment ago?
No. Oh, but I wouldn't have unless he flashed momentarily across the section of the heavens at which I was looking. You see, I'm a man who knows how to concentrate.
Where do you live? All right, go ahead. Let's have a look at it. Go ahead.
I suppose you'd like to prowl around a bit?
Any objections?
None. Being a doctor of the mystic sciences, I'm used to the persecutions of the police.
I'll bet you are at that.
While you're amusing yourself, you won't mind if I return to my telescope.
Oh, now the stars will be there a long time, and I may be only a few minutes. And I might want to chat if I find something interesting. Have a chair. Over here. It's more centrally located.
And you can keep an eye on me.
Stupid fools, the police. If they had my knowledge of the occult and this crystal ball, there'd be no need of detectives. In it, I can see anything.
And there wouldn't be any crooks either. Because you could look in there and foresee what's at the end of the line for them. Might discourage them.
Blood drips from two.
So you didn't see anybody cross the roof. Maybe you ought to take another look at that crystal ball.
Blood drips from two.
What?
Blood drips from two knives. But there will be 12 more. 14 people. Men and women. Rich and poor. I see 14 people, and all of them are dying. Yes. When the last of the 14 is dead, the cycle will be complete. But now I see a 15th. He is...
Well, mow me down. He's having his fortune told.
Well, whatever we were doing, it's over now.
What do you mean?
Professor here was telling me some very interesting things when you crashed in and snapped him out of it.
I don't believe it. I couldn't have told you anything. I don't even know what you're looking for.
This is one of the things I'm looking for. And I found it without the help of your crystal ball. Under your mattress.
You probably also put it there.
The man I chased across your roof put it there.
Well, I don't know anything about it. I never saw it before. Maybe if we take him down to headquarters and put him in another trance, it'll refresh his memory.
Just a minute. You boys better stay around until we send somebody up to fix the lock on his door.
Right.
This is Professor Starling, Tess. Take a good look and tell me if you ever saw him before.
Of course you've never seen me before, have you?
Tess. Look at me, Tess. Are you sure you never saw him before?
I'm positive.
Take him to headquarters. Have this checked by the medical examiner. We want to know if it's the weapon that killed Miss Stafford and Thomas.
Okay, see you later. Let's go, Professor.
Do you feel all right?
Of course. Why?
You acted like you were hypnotized.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Say, who was that man anyway?
The professor?
Uh-huh.
He's a doctor of the mystic sciences and a darn good hypnotist.
Well, do you think he's split-faced?
You're the one to answer that. You saw Split-Face in Owens' hallway.
Oh, but that horrible scarred face...
Discount that. It could be a trick makeup job.
Oh, well, then Owens, too, could be split-faced.
Exactly. And we're going right back to the Paradise Club.
What for?
I'm going to make Judith Owens producer, Father, so you can get a look at him, too. You can bring our dinner now.
Dinner?
We are getting ready to close. Everybody in the kitchen is going home, but I can bring you some coffee if you wish.
Let's have some.
I'm so glad you're back. I've been trying to reach you at headquarters. Did you see anyone at the house tonight?
Yes, but they saw us first. They got away.
Oh, I'm so worried. I don't understand what's going on. Now Dad has disappeared.
What makes you think so?
Well, he hasn't come in all evening, and he's not at the house.
Where was he supposed to go when he went out tonight?
Dad likes to gamble. Yes, he has a club uptown and an apartment.
I suppose he was there last night, too? Maybe we should drop over there.
Oh, no, it wouldn't do any good. He left there at 9 o'clock to come here. That's what worries me.
Well, remember to give me the address. I may look in there later anyway.
Well, if you'll excuse me,
I'll go with you. My nose could stand a little powder, too.
Oh, but I was going to make a telephone call.
Did you think of someplace else your father might be?
No, I was going to call some friends and make arrangements to stay the night with them until I heard from Dad.
Until we know who Splitface is, you wouldn't be safe even with friends. Anyway, it won't be necessary to make a call because I'm taking you with me.
I'm under arrest?
Let's call it protective custody.
But jail?
I didn't say anything about jail.
Where then?
Maybe I can take you home with me.
Well, how cozy.
I've got a housekeeper who's also a good cook, and we'd better be going.
Yes, because we'll have to stop by my place long enough for me to pack a bag.
Pack a bag? You going someplace?
Mm-hmm. I've had a hankering for some of Mrs. Carraway's good cooking. Besides, I wouldn't want Miss Owens to be lonesome. Well, I've looked through all the books, and I can't find a picture of the man that jumped out of Owen's closet.
Begin at page 1 of volume 1 and go through them again. You'll have to stop and study each picture.
I did.
But you can't expect to find a picture that looks exactly as he did last night. We might have one that was taken before he got that scar.
Just had a call from the mayor. He says he doesn't remember ever meeting Stafford or Thomas and only knows Steve Owens vaguely as being a nightclub operator.
You know, I think Owens is split-faced.
Didn't Dick show you a picture of him?
No, for the simple reason that there aren't any.
Owens' daughter says he has an aversion to having pictures taken. Believes it's bad luck.
Strange his disappearing right after Splitface jumped you in his house.
It's strange how well his daughter's holding up. After all, she admits that he might be murdered.
Hey, look. I found a surgical supply dealer who admits selling 3 of these to an undertaker on Pine Street.
What would an undertaker want with a surgical instrument?
They use them for postmortems. We better both go right out there. You stay with the pictures, Tess.
Business seems to be quiet. He can't be getting any Splitface's customers. Hey, maybe he's Splitface.
Good afternoon. May I help you?
We're from the homicide squad.
Oh, I'm sure there have been no irregularities. I have burial certificates
That's
for
all right. I just want you to take a look at this.
Oh.
A dealer says it's one of 3 he sold you recently.
Yes. Yes, I believe it is. Strange. They all disappeared soon after I bought them.
Do you think one of your employees stole them?
No. I have a small establishment, and I do most of the work myself.
Where did you keep the knives?
I'll show you. I have as fine a collection of caskets as there is in the city.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I do most of my work in here at night.
And this door is frequently left open?
Oh, yes.
And I suppose if the telephone rings, you have to go into the front office to answer it, that right?
Yes.
That would make it pretty easy for anyone to wait until you were called to the front office, then slip in and steal the knives.
Yes. Yes, it would. Now, this is where I kept the knives. Careless of me, perhaps, but one doesn't expect thieves in a place like this.
It is a strange place for a murderer to come for a weapon.
A murderer? Oh, dear me, I am sorry.
Did you ever know a man who calls himself Splitface?
No.
I can't believe Splitface would come here only to obtain a weapon.
What do you mean?
Maybe you were number 1 on his list. And some lucky accident frightened him away when he came to kill you.
Wait a minute. What about Professor Starling?
Do you know him?
Oh, no, but I read in the papers that one of the knives was found in his room. Isn't he the murderer?
I don't know. Goodbye, Mr. Deathridge.
I shall not speak except on advice of counsel.
I hope you boys haven't been annoying the professor.
The shoe's on the other foot. He's got me ready to confess to anything.
How long have they been questioning you?
Time and space are beyond human conception.
Leave him with me for a while.
Right.
Okay. Relax, Professor Starling. Those fellows mean well. They just get too enthusiastic. Might as well relax. Let you and I play a word game. We'll get our minds off this for a minute.
Don't class me with the morons who usually fall into your net. I know all about your word games.
If you've told us the truth, the word can't trip you. Come on, Professor. 2 minutes of play, and I promise you won't be bothered for the rest of the day.
Go ahead if you think it'll get you anything.
I'll say a word, then you speak the first word that comes into your mind. Light.
Dark.
Fish.
Water.
Snake.
Grass.
Hot.
Cold.
Table.
Chair.
Knife. Knife.
Surgeon.
Blood.
Stain.
Extortion.
Letter.
Man.
Women.
Deathridge. Deathridge.
There's no such word.
What does it suggest?
Nothing.
Thanks ever so much, Professor. You've helped me more than you realize. Take care of the professor, and leave orders he's not to be disturbed again today.
Right.
I'm getting groggy, Dick. I've been through these books a half a dozen times.
Then skip it. As soon as I've had a word with Pat, we'll go out to the house for dinner. Hello, Pip.
Hello.
What did you get out of it, Pat?
Well, he tripped over the critical words like knife, extortion, Deathridge. I think he knows our undertaking friend.
At least by name. Anyway, I'm going to bring them face to face.
Do you want me to bring Deathridge down here?
Yes, but we'll let the professor worry for an hour or so first. Get something to eat, then pick up Deathridge. Call me at the house as soon as you have him.
Okay. See you later, Ted.
Bye.
Nobody's coming around here without me knowing it.
Well, good work, Junior.
What have you got to report?
No strangers called today, or Miss Owens didn't go out.
Hello there. Everything all right?
No.
No? Better run along and wash up for dinner.
Okay. I'm a prisoner here, and you know it.
A prisoner?
Well, look at me.
What's wrong?
I have no clothes. You know, I just can't go out in an evening gown in the daytime. You were going to take me home after lunch so I could pack some dresses.
I'm sorry. We'll go over there this evening.
I don't want to go there at night.
Then we'll go in the morning.
I have nothing to wear in the morning.
Dinner's ready. Anything wrong between you and your guest?
No.
Too bad. I'll see if I can't stir up something.
Let's get dinner.
I've changed my mind. I'd like to go home and get my clothes now if you'll go with me.
Right away. 14. What comes in groups of 14?
What in the world are you talking about?
The professor. I'm thinking about his cycle of 14. Men and women, rich and poor, all dying.
Oh, well, that could be most anything, from a family dinner to 2 poker games.
Dick Tracy's residence. Oh, yes, Chief. Chief Brandon.
Thanks. Hello, Chief.
We still haven't heard anything from Pat, and Deathridge doesn't answer his phone.
I'll run right over there. Right away. I have to run downtown, but I won't be long.
What about my clothes?
We'll get them later.
Can I go with you, Dick?
I'm depending on you to watch things here.
Somebody slugged me from behind.
Pat said you were on the way to the office. Deathridge dead, huh?
Yeah. I came down to get the professor. I want to take him out there and show him Deathridge. Although this sure gives an airtight alibi.
Not quite.
What?
The professor was released on a writ of habeas corpus.
When?
An hour or so ago. That's why I wanted to see you tonight.
Darling.
What do you want?
Come up here.
But I...
Come on up.
You shouldn't have come back here. I've been in jail for 24 hours.
I know that, you fool. I sent the lawyer that got you out.
Oh. Well, why did you want to get me out?
I wanted you out before you talked anymore. 14 will die, you said. But you were wrong. 15 will die.
15? What do you mean?
15. Because I can't take a chance on you any longer. All those years, thinking of nothing except paying them back, getting even. Do you think I'm going to let you stop me?
I'm not trying to stop you. What have I done to stop you?
I know about those rotten letters you've been writing. I didn't care. Until they brought the cops to your door.
I admit that I wrote them, but it was an easy way to get the money, and it didn't hurt you any, not as long as you were going to kill them anyway. I'll give you half the money.
I got 1,000 from Thomas, and now there's Deathridge. He'll pay.
No, there isn't, Deathridge. I paid him a visit tonight. Funny. When he saw me, he looked just like you look now.
No. No, don't.
Don't be frightened. This knife is very sharp. It won't hurt. Not like when I got this face. It wasn't done so nice. Besides, people won't have to look at you and turn sick at the sight of you.
No, it's no good killing me. She saw you. She knows you. She'll identify you.
Fast, and there's nothing anybody can do. Who is Splitface? Talk, Professor. Who is he? Why did he want to kill you? Thank you for coming down, Your Honor.
Listen, Tracy, what's all this nonsense about me telling you who Splitface is?
I'll come to that in just a moment. The professor was the extortionist, true enough. It totals $1,000, and it's made up of the exact number of 5s, 10s, and 20s that Wilbur Thomas drew from the bank.
The professor and Splitface were partners?
I doubt it. But the professor knew Splitface, maybe from prison, and he was wise to him. He saw a chance to pick up some money.
Well, what's all this got to do with me telling you who Splitface is?
The professor said that 14 people, men and women, rich and poor, were marked for murder.
Did he make any statement before he died?
But 14 people, in such varied financial circumstances, and of both sexes, would have to become associated in only one place that I can think of. That would be a jury box.
12 jurors and 2 alternates.
Did you ever serve on a jury in a criminal trial, Your Honor?
Well, yes.
Can you remember the year you served as a juror?
Well, I was in the grocery business. Now, let me think. It was the year we moved from Larchmont to...
Can you remember who was being tried?
Well, I recall the case perfectly. The defendant was a criminal. He stabbed his sweetheart to death.
That sounds like the Alexis Banning case.
Now it all comes back to me. Alexis Banning is the name. He was crazy then. Why, when we brought in the verdict, he screamed he'd kill us all.
Put out a general alarm for Alexis Banning. He is split-faced.
For a special news bulletin. The police have identified the maniac killer who has been terrorizing the city. He is Alexis Banning, alias Splitface.
Well,
He was convicted
after
of
that,
murder
there should be no
15 years
objection to
ago.
my leaving this charming little jail.
People are asked to be on the lookout.
No, I'm sure it'll be all right. Only if your father decides to come out of hiding, it would be nice if he'd get in touch with Mr. Tracy.
Well, good night.
Good night.
I've got a phone, Dick.
I'll talk to him. I want to report on his house guest.
Okay. If you want me, I'll be up in the lab. I'm checking some fingerprints on Billy Brown's piggy bank. Looks like we got his old man red-handed this time.
Mr. Tracy, please. Hello, Dick? This is Tess. Oh, you guessed that, huh?
Tess, what's the matter?
This is Splitface, Tracy. Splitface, do you hear? Call off your cops and quit trying to interfere if you ever want to see a girl alive again.
Mr. Tracy! Mr. Tracy! Tess has been kidnapped.
Yes. Did it look like Junior could hang on? Good.
Splitface, grab Tess. Come on.
Calling. Attention all cars. Calling all cars. Look for a black sedan with a 10-year-old boy riding the rear bumper.
A car with a kid hanging on the back. I'm on the corner of Pine and Alden.
He headed down Alden Street a few minutes ago.
The kid threw this at me. That's why I called the police. He must have been in trouble.
Which way did the car go?
Down Elm towards the waterfront.
Thanks.
Say, what are you looking around here for?
I'm not looking for anything. Just playing. I play around this old boat all the time.
Say, I know you now. I saw you through the window at Tracy's. Now, you don't want to run away, so you hid in my car and came along. That's fine. You just doubled my grip on Tracy.
Well, town. I'm afraid we missed one of Junior's clues. I don't think so. There's some old abandoned docks along here. Maybe Splitface was heading for them.
Now, if Tracy does what I say, you've got nothing to worry about. I'll be back in a minute. I warn you, don't try to get away.
Junior, how did you get here? I'm on the back of the car. Oh, you shouldn't have.
This looks like Junior's shoe.
Yeah? Well, it could be anybody's shoe.
Sure, but right now we're looking for a clue. And I'll take my chances on this being one. Let's go down this way.
I moved the car just in case. Tracy was a fool to think he could stop me.
Hey, Notch, this is Junior's, all right.
Well, it looks like we still haven't reached the end of the trail. No sign of the car.
It depends on whether you're looking for a car or Splitface, huh? I think this is the end of the trail for Splitface. See, the tire tracks leading into the shed.
Yes.
Here, look. Come on, Pat. Take charge of him, Pat. I'll get Tesson Jr. Yes, Chief. He's safely locked up. And photographed this time. No, the scar was real. He got it in a fight with another convict. Served 2 extra years for it. Right. Thanks. Good night, Chief. Okay, Tess, I'm through with the report. Let's eat.
Eat? Didn't say that a moment too soon. I'm dying of starvation.
Come on, Junior, disentangle yourself from those guns.
Hey, Dick, a taxi driver was just shot and tossed out of his own cab on 18th and Main.
I'm sorry. Will you take Junior home?
Here we go again. Come on, Junior.
While RKO's Dick Tracy films were cast with mostly unknowns, you'd likely recognize the face, if not the name, of the actor who played Splitface, Mike Mazurki. Mazurki was born in what is now part of Ukraine, raised in New York. 6'5", the former football player and pro wrestler enjoyed a long career playing slow-witted brutes and intimidating heavies in Hollywood. Mazurki got his start in showbiz in the 1930s when Mae West hired him as a bodyguard, got him work as an extra. His acting break came in 1941 when director Joseph von Sternberg gave him a role in The Shanghai Gesture. In 1944, a year prior to Dick Tracy, Mazurki made a big impression as an ex-con in the well-regarded film noir Murder My Sweet. He appeared in more than 100 movies, including the original 1947 version of Nightmare Alley and Some Like It Hot from 1959. Fittingly, Mazurki's final feature film appearance came in a 1990 blockbuster, Dick Tracy, director Warren Beatty's big-budgeted take on the character, which Beatty played as well. BT Dubs will have a surprising little tete-a-tete between Warren Beatty and Dick Tracy about that film a little later tonight. Pretty sure I'm the first person to use BT Dubs and tete-a-tete in the same sentence.
Pomegranates. Pomegranates. Pomegranates.
Will you offer you something to drink?
I don't drink, Mr. Malton. It might confuse me. No makeup for me, thank you.
Well, I'm not trying to flatter you, but you don't need any. You look just wonderful.
Pomegranates. 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 Pretty good for my age, huh?
Well, I would... You have some secret you can share with everybody?
SP. Small portions, and exercise, and, of course, pomegranate.
Leonard, Dick Tracy has scheduled a Zoom call with me, and it's coming up any minute. I've never met the man. I have no idea what it is he wants to talk about. I'm sitting here, and I'm watching this interview that you did with him 12 years ago, and I'll be honest, I have no clue whether he's trying to be serious or funny.
Once in a while, you know, we'll have
Shall I come in?
Please.
Nobody ever went wrong with our friend the blueberry. Pomegranates. Pomegranates. Pretty good for my...
So now he's trying to get through to you on a Zoom call?
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Has he called you?
No.
Nobody ever went wrong.
We haven't spoken in a long time. Not since we shot that interview.
Yes. Can we take your hat and coat? Do you mind if I ask what your age is?
I don't mind if you ask, but that doesn't mean I have to tell you. I'm going to be 107 in July. Yeah.
Ralph Bird played you. Morgan Conway played you. And of course, Warren Beatty played you. Wondering, which of these do you think came closest to capturing the essence of the real you?
Well, to be quite fair, Mr. Malton, I don't know that it's right to pick favorites. I would say, however, that Ralph Bird did have a wonderful way about him. But Morgan Conway was also a remarkably good actor, and I always felt that Morgan Conway seemed the kind of man that one could turn to in a pinch.
And Warren Beatty?
Beatty was fine. He was no Ralph Bird, I mean, or Morgan Conway for that matter, but I will say that the man, he looks like me.
It's true, they do look alike, but what do you think he wants here? Is he looking maybe to do another interview?
I haven't got a clue.
That movie of Beatty's, It gave you a feeling you were in some sort of musical comedy, you know. In fact, there were songs in it actually written for the movie by Sidney Sondheim, who's a very well-respected Broadway producer.
Why? What does he want with me? Why is he reaching out? You think he wants to do another one of these? I can't imagine.
I think he would like somebody to tell the story again, the story of his life.
In a movie?
Yeah, a new movie. Why not?
Why not? Warren Beatty's got the rights, right? Still.
Mr. Mankiewicz, Detective Tracy's on the Zoom.
Should I leave?
No. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. Thank you, Dottie. Detective Tracy, so nice to finally meet you. I'm honored.
Thank you. I'm honored to meet you.
As you can see, I'm sitting here with Leonard Maltin.
Good to see you, Detective Tracy. It's been a while.
It has indeed, yes.
So what can I do for you?
Good question. Good question.
It's nice to see that yellow hat and coat.
I still don't take off my hat and coat. Nowadays, you just never know when somebody's going to put you on television.
Sure, I understand your concern. Just so you know, I would never put you on TV without your approval.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I tip it to you. My hat, that is. You know.
People spoke highly about the interview we did. They found it to be quite unusual.
You're a deservedly popular interviewer, you know. However, I think I could have been better.
Better?
Well, clearer. You know, I kind of think I should have been more frank. But I wasn't really used to doing television interviews. But I do have to tell you, I've come a long way since then. I mean, if I want to ever do another interview, I would use film clips that will show what I really feel rather than just talk about it, you know? We're all technocrats now. Look at us. We're on Zoom. We're on Zoom all the time. You know, I used to think that the high point of technology would be my wristwatch radio. I tell you, in my interview with you, Mr. Maltin, I think I should have been clearer about how I honestly feel about the movie that Beatty made about me. But first, let me tell you why I called you, Mr. Mankiewicz, because not until yesterday did I happen to see an interview you did some time ago with Warren Beatty, and I'd like to show you a clip from it, if I may, that fascinated me, where Beatty talks about collaboration. Take a look. And by the way, I would have been happy to have someone else come in and collaborate as a director, etc. The people that I was interested in collaborating with thought that I was out of my mind, and they probably were right. And the whole process is a give and take and back and forth. So I think if you're smart, you try to surround yourself with people that will tell you when you're full of baloney, or at least when they think you are, and then to have something in what I would have to call the dialectic that would allow discussion and difference of opinion that could be handled in an amicable way. I've always believed in the collaborative process in making a movie. I've always managed to put together a group of people, both the actors and in the cinematography and the costumer and the production design, etc. People who basically are capable of directing also, you know? We're all capable of directing, really.
Do you see yourself making another movie? I say that hoping that the answer is yes, but respecting that the answer is I don't know.
Well, I would say I don't know, but yes.
Okay.
That's good. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised at how Beatty seemed to be so much more respectful of other people's opinions than I had mistakenly assumed that he was. He never expressed any interest in my opinions, and that interview you did with him, Mr. Mankiewicz, is very enlightening. I'm sorry I never saw it till yesterday.
Thank you. Did you tell Beatty you were impressed? What did he say?
Well, we don't talk.
You never talk?
Well, no.
You mean you're not on speaking terms?
Well, I guess you could say that. I'm sorry to say.
So, did the two of you have a falling out?
I guess you could say that, yes.
But why?
Just something that happened. Well, it goes back, way back. In retrospect, it seems sort of silly. I regret it. Well, you know, I regret it. He just never bothered to show up for a very important meeting that I had set up, and yeah.
What was the meeting about?
I guess you might say it was about the seriousness of movies.
So the seriousness of movies was something you disagreed on?
Well, justice. Justice is serious. Crime does not pay. That's serious. Nobody's above the law. Fighting gangsters, that's serious business. Let me show you some stuff from the original trailer of the Beatty film.
I'm calling.
Hi, ma'am.
Well, little face.
I'll just pause it here for a second. Well, that's a very impressive makeup job, but I might have done it a little differently. And this is just not believable. Well, this is quite a beautiful shot, but my own feeling is that they're beautiful paintings. Perfectly nice. I mean, these are over the top. Well, I understand, you know, the suspension of disbelief, but yeah.
Pat, bring in flat top and itchy. Sam, get these fingerprinted.
Flat top and itchy.
No,
wanna
this
find
is good.
those man was fast.
This is good. This is fine, and this is fine too. This is good and nice. That's good.
There's the phone.
That's no. No. Well, this is I don't even know what to say about this.
You like walnuts, don't you, big boy?
I love them. A lot of people like walnuts. They're good for the liver.
Yeah, but they're bad for the brain.
Excuse me, walnuts are good for the brain. But now take a look at this. I mean, this is good. This is good. But I don't know. Take a look.
Oh, Sam, get him!
No, I think I would have done this a little differently. I mean, why would I jump onto the roof of a car? And this is a bit much. Not the way I would have done it. And this? Oh, my goodness. Oh, please. And his hat doesn't even come off? 7 guys with 1 punch. 7 guys with 1 punch? I'm flattered that Mr. Beatty thinks I could knock out 7 guys with 1 punch. Now, just look at the color of these streets, huh? I mean, pink? I mean, pink? A pink street? Please. I mean, what is it, a red street? What's he going for? But at least it's better than pink. That's a lot of reds, even for Beatty. Very pretty colors. But what's the point? That it's not real? This is let us just say this is wildly inaccurate. Okay, fine. Well, I think that fighting crime is not nearly this lighthearted. But now tell me, how seriously can you take this?
Well, my friend, spring is here, back in business, and ain't it grand? Let the good times.
I've never quite thought of fighting crime as a musical comedy. I mean, just look at this.
Bye-bye blues, so long adversity.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but this is not serious. Fighting crime is serious.
Same old stand, same old game.
One of the things that I stand for is teaching people that crime does not pay. But I don't know, sometimes Beatty seems to be saying that crime does pay.
Back in business, and ain't it grand?
Oh, God. No. No, it's No, 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 no. No, that's not good. Now, let's compare that to this, all right? Okay, now take a look at these clips. Here's Ralph Bird. He knew how to play me. Yes. I just don't know if Beatty would be willing to do that. Here's Morgan Conway. He knew how to play me, too. He knew how to do it. That is serious.
Come on your feet.
Good. Now that is what it takes to fight crime. With Ralph Bird, none of the 7 guys with 1 punch baloney. I believe that. And I believe that. Yes. Very, very well done. Very well done. Yep, very well done. It's quite a difference. Yeah. Yes. Yes! Now, how great is that, huh? Morgan Conway, Ralph Bird. I believe that. It's...
I've got to find out who robbed that payroll truck.
Yes.
Who are you shielding, Johnny?
I gotta get out of here.
This is a serious subject.
I know you're there. Come out.
Good. Yes. Yes. Yes.
But remember,
But now take a look at this.
there are no rules in the game of justice versus crime.
Exactly.
All criminals are rats and should be treated as
Your
such.
call is on the Zoom, Mr. Malton.
Your training is just beginning. Now it's up to you. Work hard, train hard. Because when you're a full-fledged agent, you'll have to fight hard.
Ralph Bird is inspiring. There's just nobody like Ralph Bird. I mean, Ralph Bird was...
Detective Tracy, sorry, may we put you on hold for a minute?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Are you there, sir?
What? I'm here. Is it? Who is that? Is that Ben Mankiewicz?
It is indeed.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Oh, Leonard, how are you?
It's been a while. I have an old friend or acquaintance of yours here.
Oh, really? What? Who? Yes, we haven't spoken in a while. Detective Tracy, how are you? I'm fine, Mr. Beatty. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Long time no see. Or here. Yeah, I guess if you don't show, you don't hear. Show? Show up. You never showed up at the Polo Lounge. The Polo Lounge? Are you... What are you talking about? I called. I called the Polo Lounge. Are you telling me the Polo Lounge didn't tell you that I called and said I couldn't make it? Let's not talk about it, huh? Okay. I don't get it. What's going on here? I didn't place the call.
That was me, Warren. I placed the call.
Warren, Leonard and I happened to be on a Zoom call today with Detective Tracy, and he has just spoken very positively about the interview you and I did a few years ago that he'd never seen until yesterday.
Yeah, I felt that was a good interview.
You were very articulate regarding the value and necessity of collaboration.
That's true. I was surprised and well, I was impressed. You know, I mean, somehow I had always assumed that when you made the movie about me, you didn't really want anybody interfering. Well, collaborating isn't interfering. It's contributing.
So we called you, Warren, because actually everybody wonders why you never made another Tracy movie. Am I right, Detective Tracy?
Well, I had always assumed that maybe Mr. Beatty wasn't very interested and didn't want to do anything. I mean, he has controlled the rights for 1,000 years. Wait. I'm old, but I'm not quite that old. But, hey, you're even older than I am. You got famous in 1931. I didn't get famous till the late 1950s, okay? Let me ask you, does that mean that you feel I'm too old to do new things? Well, I didn't say that. What's going on? Or what new things are you talking about? You thinking about making a movie? I don't know what to think about making movies nowadays. Maybe another movie's a good idea. You know what? I think you've produced some really good movies. They were special. And you were quite good in them. But come on, in those movies, you never had yourself knocking out 7 guys with one punch like you did in the movie about me. I mean, come on, 7 guys with one punch? If I'd been collaborating with you, I would have fought you on that one. Do you think another movie about me could be a little more serious? Serious? Like how? Not so many pretty colors? Ah. You mean more real, huh? Treating crime like it's a serious subject. A little less like a painting or a musical comedy, you know? Maybe make the bad guys look more like real people. I mean, you didn't make me look unreal. Oh, by the way, I want to thank you for that. In fact, I think you look too good to play me. I don't look that good. Well, I think you look fine. We could argue about that. By the way, if you ever do make another movie, I think maybe it'd be good for you to have somebody you can argue with. You say you don't know what to think about making movies now? Well, that's because things have changed so fast. People want to watch movies at home and put them on pause so they can use their cell phone, so they can break for dinner, so they can go to the toilet, so they can treat movies like books, so they can look at them, put them down, pick them up later. They don't want to have to drive to a theater. They don't want to have to park their car. They want to look at whatever they like whenever they want to look at it. Yeah, sure, sometimes they'll take the trouble to go to a theater and see a movie on a big screen. Fine. But I say, if you're thinking about making another movie about me, do you think you might just make it a little more real? Not with pink and blue streets. Keep the musical comedy scenes, but only in nightclubs, not on pink and blue streets. And if you want the bad guys to be ugly, fine, but make them look real. And if you want to do another movie about me, you might want to have somebody you trust enough to argue with who actually knows about me. And would you think about maybe getting somebody a little younger than you to play me? But I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe I should be played old by somebody who's able to do things old people can't ordinarily do. And you know, maybe it's better as a series. That's how we started in 1931 in the funny papers. Hey, it'd take a lot of discussion. But there's a lot of things that take a lot of discussion. And as you said yourself to Ben in your interview, collaboration is key. It's mandatory. But to collaborate, you need somebody you can trust enough to argue with. You've got the final say. You own the rights. So, you know, every once in a while we could have a pink street. Yes, Dick Tracy Returns, produced by Dick Tracy. Now, I'd pay to see that. Lunch tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Polo Lounge? Polo Lounge. Deal? Deal. Done.
Yesterday it seemed the world was about to end. Dignity, as though it wouldn't last half a year. Yesterday disaster waited around the bend. Well, my friend, spring is here. Back in business and ain't it grand? what prevention or how. Looked as though the fun was over till who knew when. That was then. This is now. Back in business and ain't it grand? Where the good times go. Yesterday things were out of hand. Now they're under control. Back to normal, back to usual, and the fun will soon wow wow. No more doom and gloom. No more fuss, just boom. Back in business and overnight. In demand. Well, alright. Business is just dynamite. Let the good times
Want a share of the loot in McDonald's $40 million Dick Tracy Crime Stopper game? Just play your cards right and win a Big Mac, French fries, icy Coke, or up to $1 million. It's easy. Rub one box at a time and follow the clues to solve the crime.
You're finished.
Dick Tracy. The movie is only in theaters. I'm running it out.
Star Warren Beatty has opening weekend jitters. He's put his heart and soul into the movie. Dick Tracy, our inside story today.
You want me to take a risk? I want you to take a risk.
I told you I'd protect you if you testified.
Protect me?
It's my job.
I don't know about your job. I only know what I feel.
With a fanfare of Tommy guns, Dick Tracy is making the jump from the comic pages to the silver screen. Warren Beatty produced and directed the film and cast himself in the title role of the rock-steady detective.
He's an honest man. He knows what he wants to do. He knows bad is bad, good is good. He'd like to have a family. He doesn't know if he can live up to the responsibilities that it entails. And he's tempted. He's really tempted.
Come here.
Beatty is an Oscar-winning director, and Madonna, who co-stars as torch singer Breathless Mahoney, was Beatty's off-screen leading lady. She says he gave her a lot of guidance.
He understands how nervous you are and how you need your space or you need everybody to be quiet. I mean, he knows what you need because he is an actor.
In one scene, Breathless Mahoney is not supposed to sing well. Madonna says that Beatty helped her to do it badly.
It's hard to do a song badly, which is what I was supposed to be doing in that scene. So Warren was constantly telling me to not do it so good.
I want Tracy dead!
Two of the unsung stars of the film are makeup artists Doug Drexler and John Caglione, Jr. They created all of the special makeup for the gallery of criminals who are out to get Dick Tracy. The two spent months designing the rubber faces of the crooks so that they looked as much like the original comic characters as possible. But when it came to Al Pacino as the head gangster, Big Boy Caprice, well, they let him create his own look after some wild experimentation.
We had a mix and match supply of appliances like noses and cheeks and brows and chins.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, so he said, take him to the trailer and burn him down. Try every nose and every ear and every forehead on him until he's sick of it and he's not interested anymore.
Right.
But the more he did it, the more he loved it.
He loved it.
And he did it for 3 days.
Yeah.
And he came out all excited, you know, and
with 8 different faces,
yeah,
you know, to look at.
Yeah,
And
we
he
had
loved
8 different. It was like playing Mr. Potato Head with Al Pacino.
The pair also says they never knew who they would run into on the set of the film.
I walked by the trailer and we were just past it. And I said, I just saw Jackie Onassis. And we stepped back and we looked in Warren's trailer and it was Jackie
Sure
Onassis.
enough.
Yeah.
You know, you never knew who you were going to see. Jack Nicholson.
Gary Hart was there one night.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we were like...
The people on the sidelines were as much a celebrity as the people who were, you know, in the film.
11-year-old Charlie Korsmo plays Tracy's sidekick, the Kid. He says he originally didn't want to do the film because he had just finished another one and wanted a rest. But the 1-2 punch of Warren and Madonna convinced him to do it.
Eventually, they convinced me to come out to Los Angeles for one day to be auditioned by Warren personally in his house. And I ended up being there the whole day, you know, just talking with him. And he called Madonna in, and she made popcorn. And I liked him a lot, and we instantly got along. And I guess he convinced me to do it, because I did.
Remember we were doing the scene, and I asked you to invent a line, and you said you didn't like the line. What was your substitute line?
As God is my witness, I shall never go hungry again.
The hype and publicity behind Dick Tracy is intense, and now it's up to audiences to make it a hit.
You're all right, kid.
And now we know what Madonna makes for dinner. Beatty got involved with the Tracy film in 1975. It took 15 years plus a big salary cut on his part to bring the movie into theaters. Later in the show, we're going to take you back to the 1930s to meet the creator of the Dick Tracy comic strip.
There'll be a high-rise full of competition.
Comic strip. In fact, the history of Dick Tracy can be traced all the way back to the king of the mystery sleuths, Sherlock Holmes.
Tracy.
Tracy?
You mind if I call you Dick?
The current movie hype has made him a household name for the present, but Dick Tracy is a detective with a long and colorful past. Created in 1931 in an era of gangsters, the chisel-chinned character came to life on the Woodstock, Illinois work table of Chester Gould. Now, Gould thought if the cops couldn't catch criminals, he would create a character who could. And according to his daughter Jean, he actually based his character on another famous sleuth named Sherlock Holmes.
He went to his drawing board. He started sketching what Sherlock Holmes might look like today, with a snap-brim fedora, a young, sharp-looking character, and all of a sudden he knew he had something.
What this son of a small-town newspaper editor had was an instant hit, and throughout the 40s, Dick Tracy became even hotter. He was carried by nearly 1,000 newspapers, sold millions of comic books, and Dick Tracy paraphernalia popped up everywhere. But it didn't stop there. If you think Warren Beatty is starring in the very first Dick Tracy film, Tracy expert Larry Doucet says, guess again.
There have been 4 Dick Tracy movies in the 30s and 40s and 4 cliffhanger serials. And this is basically the 9th Dick Tracy movie coming out with Warren Beatty and Madonna.
Wait a minute. That door was closed when I came in here.
Making his movie debut over half a century ago, the square-jawed detective was portrayed by Ralph Byrd in a handful of serials. And the B movies released in the mid-40s included one titled Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, starring Boris Karloff as the bad guy.
Why don't you have Tracy take a look at him? I think I will.
Naturally, it was only a matter of time before the detective delved into the world of cartoons and the animated adventures of Dick Tracy.
I'm on my way to the dock. You just keep an eye on that platypus.
While Gould believed strongly that crime doesn't pay, it was the colorful criminals he created that made the comics popular and profitable. And his inspiration for characters came in a variety of ways, according to Gould's grandson, Tracy, named after you-know-who.
He drew up an egg-shaped circle for a head, which he normally did for anybody he was drawing. And he drew some eyes, and he said, oh, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, he took his pencil and started crossing it out. And he said, my gosh. He said, I love prunes. This looks like a prune. Prune face.